For the Arsenal game, have we got them on the screen? Can we show them? Because this was a fair play
I
fixture.
think we thought it would be goals, isn't it?
I think I went 2-1.
I went 3-2.
3-1. I think I went 3-1.
Yeah,
3-1.
4-2 Arsenal.
Controls.
No one got that one right.
It was, you know what? It was a poor game. You know,
It wasn't a great watch,
You know when
I'll
you're
be
there, you're
honest.
cold, right?
Yeah,
And
you
it's
just wanna go home.
Poor game, man. It was like literally that incident. Really, was what kind of.
Gave
If
something.
that hadn't happened, nobody would
There
even
was a
really
bit
be
of
talking
needle
about
to the
this
game after that happened as well.
Yeah, there was. Well, obviously the Arsenal players very upset after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game was a bit. It wasn't the greatest game.
Really good positive though. Goal from Wanyeri.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good goal.
yeah. Well,
Good
even
finish.
when now
Keeper
he's
maybe
injured.
could have done better, but
Now he's injured.
He's injured now.
Wanyeri.
How long?
Well, it's a muscular. They haven't said, but it's a
That could be a few
muscular
weeks.
injury. Sounds like a hamstring. That's a few weeks out at least,
Now
right?
you're
And he's
paying.
the previous game against Brentford, excellent. He was the guy carrying the threat again, and he's out. And
At least you don't have a league game for a while. You could say.
well, we got
got the
Tottenham.
cut-
We
yeah,
got Tottenham coming up in just over
9
a week's
days.
Yeah, but I
time. We
think
got a
that-
League
After
Cup.
the FA Cup.
Yeah, but we've got a
Yeah.
League Cup game on Tuesday. So tomorrow night, League Cup game against Newcastle
away? No,
at
it's
home.
isn't it?
Then
Then
you
we
got-
got Man United.
Yeah.
Then we got Spurs. Then we got Villa. These are tough games, and you
Won't worry about
need
Spurs.
these guys there.
Oh, my bad, Spurs.
So, but listen, let me just first of all say, right, not completely making it. I'm not really making it an excuse for our performance, right? We didn't play. It was a game in which we're winning the game 1-0 up.
Yeah.
And we've seen this a lot with Mikel Arteta. I understand why that guy's having a go. He does this thing a lot where he's like, right, guys, just manage the game. It's all about control. And it was working. We're completely controlling the game. But there's always a danger with that some incident can happen or something can happen. And I just kept thinking, why are we not going a bit more for that second goal? Now, I know there's loads of games coming up. I know there was loads of players, because I spoke before the game. I saw there's like a police guy who's like, moves around with Arsenal. He's close to and he goes, Robbie, mate, you're lucky that even all these players are playing. They're like, the sickness in the camp, flu's just ravaged it. So a lot of them players that are playing today, they're not even well. That's what he told me before the game. I was thinking, oh, bloody hell, right? But the game turned for me on a refereeing decision. Again, our friend Anthony Taylor. Anytime I see this guy, I know Chelsea fans love him, right? But anytime I see him and the one what's his name, who managed the game, who refereed the game yesterday. Anytime I see them two so-called Don referees, the best referees we've got, I'm worried, right? Like Mikel Arteta said, and I said it after the game, even before I saw his interview, I have never seen a penalty given for that in my life.
Doesn't mean it's not a penalty,
right?
though.
And it weren't a penalty because he headed the ball.
Yeah.
He
heads
got the
player
ball
first and then the ball.
He heads the ball first, then his head
Pedro
hits
heads
the
the
player.
ball first.
Right? Saliba
Does he?
heads the ball
Right,
first.
Did you see it on Sky? Is in the highlight because
Yeah.
the original clip I saw was what I think you saw, and I said that there was contact. But the one that was on Match of the Day, it's a different angle.
He heads the ball first, then there's a collision of heads. Now, are you going to tell me, as I said, I've never seen it. I've seen a lot of these things with Arsenal. I remember when Martinelli got sent off that time with the 2 yellow cards. Remember that against
Yeah.
Wolves?
Yeah.
I'd never seen that. Never seen it
But what's
since.
your point, though?
Rob said
My
shouldn't
point
have been
is,
pen.
right, is that was not a penalty.
I
right?
think
that was
it's-
not again, this referee,
I
as
think
we've
it's a
seen
pen.
this
I'm
season,
watching it
coming
now.
up with
Show
something.
me the video you're looking at again.
Coming up with something.
Yeah,
that
it's a pen,
didn't-
Rob. It's a
and
pen.
It's not a penalty.
Bro.
And have you
It's a pen.
Go
I'm
and look back
watching-
at it.
I'm watching it
Well,
right now.
you go and look back at it. As I said, Saliba.
João Pedro gets there before him. there,
Saliba
and then
heads
he
the
heads
ball
it.
first.
I
You've
think
not-
that's a pen.
right. VAR, by the way, what you just said about.
I think
Yeah,
that's a
look,
What
I
you just
was
said about
gonna
watching
say,
it
hit it first.
watching it
I'd
back
have it.
because
Hold a
yeah,
second,
go on.
just before you say it, right? What you're saying about watching it back, you're right? But VAR have that.
I
Right?
agree with you.
VAR have that.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm totally agreeing with you because on the first one, I think on that clip, I think there's contact, and obviously that's what they've given
touches
the
it
penalty
there
for.
and then gets
But the
left
fact
right.
that that has gone to VAR and it's been checked again and again, and then they've said stick with the on-field decision. That's the
ridiculous.
problem because then they've come out after and said actually we wouldn't have given it as a penalty. That's the problem. If that's gone to VAR, it's not like Anthony Taylor's made the decision, you haven't got VAR there. We've seen this angle, but we've also seen it multiple times, so we can see different angles of it.
Can we do
That's
a
the
poll?
benefit of having VAR, that they've seen the different
VAR,
angles.
you don't need to do a poll.
It does look like a pen.
VAR.
It does look like a
VAR
pen.
have the technology.
Robbie,
Otherwise, there's no point.
Okay, but Robbie, if a player touches the ball first and then Saliba comes in with his foot late, that's a
Late.
pen, right? So why is it,
It depends
different?
on it. It's
No,
not
but
all the
it's-
time.
no, but
because we see a lot of penalties, right? We see a lot of penalties overturned because when they look back on it, the players actually touched the ball first before he hit the
João
ball.
But
Pedro's
Saliba
touched
hasn't
the ball first.
touched him.
No, it isn't.
Robbie,
No,
don't
Saliba-
lie to me.
Saliba's not got the ball.
Saliba heads
João
From that
Pedro
angle.
From that
heads
angle,
it.
look at the other angle, which
Okay.
VAR had.
I agree, look at the other
right,
angle.
which VAR had, right? You will see.
I thought it was on that
Right, you
angle.
will see.
showing
No,
you.
listen. He
touches it there.
Yeah, he touches it there, but now you're looking.
And then
See,
it's a
Saliba's
headbutt.
headed the ball.
Yes, but
No.
he's headbutted the player.
There's
hasn't
a-
he?
there is- there is
you've got to
another
understand
angle.
the rules.
Show-
AGT.
get me the other angle.
That is the angle. So look, show.
On that
I know
angle, I
you guys
thought it
can't
was-
see
yeah,
it.
but on
You
that
can't
angle-
show
It's
it.
a pen.
On that
can't show
angle,
it.
it is
On
a
that
pen.
angle, it's a
What's
pen.
There's
about
another
this?
angle.
So what? Here it is.
Touch, head, bang.
Right, no, hold on. Go back. I know you guys can't see this.
It doesn't
right?
look like it to me.
Pedro heads it. Hold on, stop it. Go back.
There is
I'll
another
stop
angle.
it when Pedro heads it.
Pedro heads it.
There.
Right, stop.
Then Saliba.
heads the ball now.
No, Saliba heads.
Oh, come on, Rob.
Saliba heads
on,
João
Robbie.
Pedro.
Everybody,
Robbie.
Gary
He headbutts
Lineker,
João
all the
Pedro.
experts
Sorry.
on Match of the Day, everybody, right?
It's late.
And even the referee
You're
since
saying the top of his head touched it?
he's headed the ball first. It's a clash of
No,
heads.
Not
Robbie,
first.
he's headbutted him.
Look, on that angle,
He's
I agree,
headbutted him.
I think it's a pen. I did see the other angle and I thought
It's
fair
late,
enough.
it's late. It is
And the
late.
fact that maybe it's not a pen on the other angle. I feel like though, if
It's a
the
clash
fact
of
that
heads.
the fact that the PGMO or whoever it is has come out and said that they shouldn't have given it,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah. So
They
what's the
had
point in having the technology?
They had the opportunity.
They've
to
admitted
overturn
it shouldn't
and
have been
they
a
didn't.
penalty.
I'm more than happy with the decision.
I'm also more than
Well,
happy
yeah,
with the
of course
decision.
you're happy with the decision.
I'm more than happy
But
with
you
it.
see
happy
me,
with the
you know one
decision.
thing about me, even though I hate on teams, right? I'll hate on Chelsea, I'll hate on
But can
Spurs.
we say, though-
But I remember when I saw your game last week, and I said this.
the lap dived, yeah,
I
that was
came in
clear
here
and
last
obvious.
week and I
That was a
said,
dive.
sorry.
But I think
for
that was
me,
clear and obvious.
For me, that's a dive, right? And you've got the technology there to say that's a dive, right?
You've
And
done
they
it again
didn't.
this week as
And
well.
what's happening now we're seeing this season is basically any decision on the field, especially, right? And I heard Martin Keown say this, I agree with him, right? Especially when he's one of the so-called top referees.
Well, he's just not, is he?
Maybe he's like the sort of the lesser guys in the VAR are thinking, do I really want to overturn Anthony Taylor? He's one of our main guys. Who am I to tell him?
But that's the problem. This is why we always come back to the same
put in the
conversation.
technology.
They have other angles, whether or not we think it was or wasn't. They've come out and said that it was the wrong decision and they should have probably overturned that on-field decision. They had the opportunity to do that and they didn't do that. So I get why Arsenal fans are like...
And it's a
well,
game
why-
of tight
why-
margins,
of
right?
course, but
and
then,
so,
but I get why
you
you
can
would
turn
feel
around
that
and
way.
say, which is right, we should have killed the game. You can turn around and
didn't
say we
score
didn't
enough
play
goals.
well.
No.
Right, we've not
Speak
scored.
about that.
But at the end, you can turn around and say that, AGT. But then also, if that's not given, you turn around and say, well, well done to Arsenal. They managed the game. You have had a lot of illness in the camp. It weren't great, but that's what champions do. They grind it out. So the narrative changes. So refereeing decisions when you have VAR, remember, this is not just in isolation, are very important. VAR is not working.
Okay, we know that. Penalty or no penalty?
For me, it's a pen.
I'm going pen. No
Never
pen.
a penalty.
That angle pen.
Okay, we've asked the chat.
That angle, is it a pen?
54%.
Me
say
personally,
yes,
if
it
I
a
was
pen.
reffing, if I was reffing, I'd
I'm
definitely
sorry,
give it a pen.
everybody use
Just me, just-
everybody. The
Good penalty,
PGMOL, the referees people have come out and said
54,
it's
yes,
not a penalty.
44.
Even they've come out and said it's not a penalty. So the biasness, if you want to,
It's not biased,
Not
just my
biased.
opinion.
you wanna
But
stick
why
with that?
don't you talk on
Right.
the lackluster attacking performance?
Yeah.
I said
Because
that.
we
even-
spent 10 minutes talking about the refs.
No,
Let's
no,
talk
hold on.
about why
We
they
actually
didn't
did
win
a
the
whole
game.
St. George's
No, but,
Park
actually-
back and forth here.
If you actually
Yeah,
listen
back
to
at the
me,
tape.
I actually spoke about that before we even started talking about
Well,
it.
Not
I
enough.
think,
Not- you
I
didn't
think
speak
we
about
need
enough.
more.
So I spoke about it already.
Not enough.
Right?
We'd like some
It
more
wasn't.
analysis.
You didn't
It
say
wasn't,
Analysis.
it wasn't good enough.
This
You know
is
what I
ref watch.
mean? We should have got the second goal. Should have went there because basically they hadn't done it. I was chatting to somebody from Brighton afterwards, and they said basically you guys should have got the second goal. And by the way,
Yeah.
right. Actually, I can't say who it was, but I could tell you someone very, very high up at Brighton said to me afterwards, "Go, Robbie, I watched back. Never a penalty." That's him. Right, he goes, we'll take it all day long. And I don't blame him. I'd take it all day long.
I
You
think it's a
take
pen.
it, we'd all take it. But it's never a penalty in a million years.
Sounds like
And
Tony
again,
Bloom.
but listen, in the end, it's not, I thought that was it. Title finished, finito, kaput. Fortunately, because of the result, the Liverpool-Man United game, there's still a little glimmer.
You're so
but
lucky.
Arsenal have got to start. We've got to go into the market in January. The attack is, I know Havertz was also missing, but without Saka there, and then now we've got no Wanyeri who's come in and has done well.
Do you know?
They were
Well, they
doubling
haven't
up
said,
on him.
but
They were doubling up on him.
they were doubling, trebling
Speaks-
up on him.
That speaks volumes
Yeah.
about the left-hand side.
Robbie,
the
I'm just
lack of
looking
threat.
at the fixture list. Obviously, it's the semi-final first leg tomorrow at home. I mean, you probably would have wanted that game to be the second leg instead of the first.
Not necessarily. No, I think with the current amount of injuries and that, I don't mind it being the first leg.
I don't fancy it at St James's Park.
Yeah, I would have liked the
Fantastic.
home
I
leg,
want Newcastle
second
in the
leg.
final anyway, so.
Arsenal, Man United on Sunday, Arsenal, Tottenham, and then Arsenal, Villa. It's 5 home games in a row.
Yep.
I think this is your chance to really stamp your authority and go and win all of them games, and then we'll see what Arsenal are going to do this season.
It's a tough run, right? And like you
All
said,
at home,
even
Gotta
they are
win all
all
your
at home.
home
Even though
games.
you look at a game like Tottenham and you'll think to yourself, yeah, easy work, light work, the way they've been playing. We saw with your game, when it's a derby,
Rude, wasn't it?
teams turn up. Teams, pride comes into it, all kind of different things. They're not going to come and lay down and die, Tottenham. They're going to have a go, despite,
Got no players.
Yeah, so,
Got no
well,
one fit.
you know what I mean? So